Pastoral Committee to oversee the Women Monthly Prayer Project of Akwa Ibom State has been inaugurated by the governor's wife, Pastor Patience Umoino, with Bishop Enobon Esien as director. The governor's wife performed the exercise at the banquet hall of the government house during the maiden edition of the monthly prayer meeting under the Umoino administration. Margaret Bassey reports that the theme was the sound of the new. The committee includes Reverend Utbeno John, Welfare and Provost, Pastor Imeowo, Prayer Director, Pastor Idonwesere Sienebon, and other clerics.
When the earth totters, and all its inhabitants, I will judge with equity. Power you, they will embolden you. The spirit of fear is out of you. In the name of Jesus.
Pastor Patience Eno, who celebrated the Moino's late administration's 1 month in office, attributed the privilege to serve in the capacity of the First Lady to the grace of God and the efforts of all Akwa Ibom citizens. The governor's wife, while declaring the new era as that of a new dimension of blessing, said the monthly prayer will be a continuous process throughout her tenure, a journey of faith that will require unity of purpose and continuous intercession from the Pastoral Council of the Monthly Prayer Project. She celebrated the past administration, which heeded to the directives of the Holy Spirit that aided Pastor Moino to come on board, and called for support and cooperation for the smooth running of her tenure.
So my sisters in the Lord, this prayer has started. Hallelujah! Nothing will stop. The doors of this prayer will never stop. To keep opening. As it opens, your blessings open, your joy open, your promotion open, your fulfillment open. Everything you ever desire that is right before the Lord will open up to you. In the name of Jesus, I want to encourage you to bring your faith. Stand your ground. Put up your faith in God, so that the prayers these women will render will prevail, will work for you.
In an exhortation, Reverend Utbeno John, who preached on the theme, The Sound of the New, assured the congregation that the sound of God is distinct and unique, capable of releasing multiple miracles to those that believe. Reverend John gave the assurance that the sound of peace will calm any form of violence and communal clash within Akwa Ibom State and its borders.
You will enjoy the sounding of the new. You have a responsibility to take, which is forgetting the old. The sound transformed Saul and made him Apostle Paul. It was a distinct sound. The sound that is going to be released unto you, even upon this land, shall be distinct. Amen. In the name of Jesus.
The service featured intercessory prayers, hymns, praise and worship, and thanksgiving. Margaret Bassey, AKBC News. The wife of Akwa Ibom State Governor, Mrs. Patience Umoino, has called on the people of the state to emulate our former Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Glory, in bringing succor to humanity. Mrs. Eno made the call during the official unveiling of Mary Slessor Kanglo Foundation, established by Dr. Glory to cater to the need of women who have multiple babes, children, the elderly, and students. Yours truly reports that the unveiling took place at Ibom Hall grounds. For
women and the Ibom a cappella, it was a scene of joy, the event as they sang. unveiling the Mary Slessor Akan-Glow Foundation. The wife of the governor, represented at the event by the wife of the secretary to the state government, Mrs. Inenisiri Nobowa, saluted Dr. Edith for the initiative of giving back to the society and immortalizing the great missionary, Mary Slessor, describing Dr. Edith as the Mary Slessor of her time. The governor's wife stressed that Akwa Ibom needs such people like Dr. Edith who understand the need to make others happy, promising to partner her foundation to care for the needy. The founder and president of Mary Slessor Akan-Glow Foundation, Dr. Gloria Edith, said the foundation is aimed at immortalizing the legend Mary Slessor, who impacted her grandfather positively. The foundation, she said, will support women who have multiple births, students, elders, provide skills acquisition, promote global partnership for development, and empower the widows and youths in the state.
God used Mary Michelle Slessor to change the stories of many, especially multiple birth children. Therefore, in our memory and in order to continue to render services to God and humanity, to keep her good legacy to the Bible State, Nigeria and beyond, Mary Slessor Akan-Glow Foundation has been established.
Others obeyed their minds included Center for Gender Studies, University of Uyo, Paramount Rulers, representatives from Ministries of Women Affairs and Social Welfare and Agriculture, Bush House, Wife of the Bibio, UNICEF, and Ikorekbere Senatorial District Forum.
We are also here because someone, a woman in that matter, has decided to recognize the works of Mary Slessor.
Just like we are celebrating Mary Michelle Slessor's works, I'd like to say that Dr. Gloria generation is celebrating.
We are happy to key into this foundation. Because these are the things that should be doing that we are doing and we are passionate with that. So remember our Dr. Gloria. Let us remember such a woman today.
I believe that this city will speak for you and your entire generation.
Highlights of the event were presentation of grants to students of different higher institutions and presentation of cash and packages to twins by the president of the foundation, Dr. Gloria Edith, while guests supported the foundation with cash. AKBC News.
The need for groups, individuals, organizations, and government to deploy the expertise of public relations practitioners to promote mutual understanding and goodwill for effective service delivery has been stressed. The Director General of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, Pastor Oneti Ukwe, stated this on a special interview on AKBC TV Focus AM 45 ahead of the World Public Relations Day 2023. Etienne Ibaha reports.
Dr. Okwe described public relations as the practice of managing and disseminating information from an individual, organization to the public in such a way to influence the perception of the public. According to him, public relations is a management function to create goodwill through strategic communication with different publics that an organization deals with.
The major role of public relations is to manage the perception of management and the organization in terms of how it relates with the different publics, managing the perception of these different publics of management. You take the approach of using press releases, creating a strong brand, and also undertaking goodwill gestures and ensuring that communication lines are open for effective feedback.
Dr. Okpe, who is a fellow, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, also spoke on the role of PR in an organization, differences between PR, advertising, and need for all to embrace the profession to achieve desired goals.
The world has become a global village, and what happens in one part of the world affects events in the other part of the world, and therefore the need for effective public relations cannot be overstressed. And also the competition before used to be local. Companies in Akwa Ibom will compete with other companies in Akwa Ibom. It doesn't work that way anymore, because right now I can choose to buy from the international market. I can go online and choose to buy from the international market. And so if you are producing in Akwa Ibom, it does not follow that I'm going to buy from you. And so how do you use PR to ensure that you capture the Akwa Ibom market? And therefore the role of populations has changed.
Noting that the world has become a global village, the AKBC DG said the role of public relations in building relationships and influencing public perception cannot be overemphasized. Commenting on the theme for this year's celebration of the World Public Relations Day, harnessing the power of public relations, Dr. Okpe said it called for more engagement of PR, given the dynamic society, and how to leverage on ICT to expand the boundaries. He said more work needs to be done by PR personnel in Akwa Ibom by letting those in government understand the need to use PR more to explain the organizations to the ordinary people. Dr. Okpe spoke glowingly on PR practice and suggested areas for improvement, especially with the Arise agenda of Governor Moina in the state.
We need to think more. We need to spend more time to see how we can partner with the government, and His Excellency the Governor has already made it plain and clear that he wants all Akwa Ibom people to team up with him to build the Akwa Ibom of our dreams.
Etienne Ibaha, AKBC News.
You're still watching AKBC 45 News at dawn. Still to come, Permanent Secretary explains reason behind power outage, and fans' decision on Super Eagles coach ends today. Please stay with us. We will take these stories after the break. It's good to have you back. Following the statewide blackout experienced since Tuesday this week, the state government says it is liaising with necessary authorities to redress the problem. Shedding light on the efforts of the state government, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Power and Petroleum Development, Dr. Valerie Obud, explained that the blackout is attributed to failure in the 132 kV grid, which has affected Akwa Ibom, Abia, and part of Rivers State government. Dr. Obud, however, urged Akwa Ibom people to calmly bear with the situation and expect the restoration of power soon. Meanwhile, some individuals in the state have expressed the hope that bills for the month should reflect a drop in power supply, as most communities have not been served long before the blackout. A vast majority of Super Eagles fans have asked the Nigerian Football Federation not to restrain head coach Jose Peseiro in an opinion poll following NFF's decision to use a social media poll to decide whether to renew his contract or not. The NFF announced the appointment of Peseiro as the new coach of the Eagles May 15, 2022, replacing Austin Eguavon, who returned to his technical director role at the Federation.
The Portuguese coach, who earns a whopping $70,000 a month, will see his one-year contract with the federation expire today, June 30, 2023. Expectations were high amongst the country's football-crazy populace when a then top official of the Nigeria Football Federation told journalists in Lagos last year that Peseiro was introduced to the football body by compatriot Jose Mourinho, one of the biggest managers in the world football. While some fans pinned for the removal for lack of performance, the former NFF president, whose board employed Jose Peseiro, Amaju Pinnick, said Jose is one of the top coaches in world football. However, the statistics and figures since Peseiro took over the Eagles' job have been impressive, raising doubts over his ability to take the three-time African champions to greater heights. Clubs in the Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) have been reminded that they should commence club licensing processes for the 2023-2024 season, which has been scheduled to commence on the weekend of August 26-27. Following the submission of the season's report by the Interim Management Committee to the Nigeria Football Federation, clubs have qualified for the CAF club competitions were invited to commence their procedures with the NFF in line with CAF Club Licensing Regulations 2022. The league organizers, in advising all participant clubs to take advantage of early competition of the process, warned that only clubs that have been licensed would be registered for the new season. A memo by the IMS head of operations, David Sinowumi, informed the clubs to contact the NFF licensing managers, the Mr. Nasiru Jibril and Queen Yu Otarakpo, for further information on the club licensing procedure. In a related development, the NPFL transfer window will open on Saturday, July 1 and close on September 1, 2023. The clubs that qualified to represent Nigeria in CAF club competitions are Enyimba International and Remo Stars for the CAF Champions League, while Rivers United and Bendel Insurance will play in the CAF Confederation Cup. Enyimba, Katsina United, Remo Stars, Rivers United, Yobe United and Lobby Stars have qualified for the Super 8 finals in Lagos. They achieved their ticket in the playoff, which took place at the rebuilt Eket Stadium that has the bragging rights of the best AstroTurf in Nigeria. Enyimba League champions saw off Heartland of Owerri 1-0. Katsina United pipped Kano Pillars by the same margin, while Remo Stars humiliated Shooting Stars 3-0. In the South-South clash, Rivers United fought off Bendel Insurance 3-1, 3-2. Yobe United overcame Gombe United 2-1, while Lobby Stars stretched 2-2 in regulation time by CTFC to pick their ticket through penalties. Fans at Eket Stadium, which included some ex-internationals, board members of Football Federation, including Otue Konsesien, were thrilled by the good officiating and soccer artistry display at the Eket AstroTurf. The Super 8 finals will see teams divided into two groups, with 3 million naira for grabs by each team in the group stage and an additional 3 million for semi-finalists. The runners-up will earn 9 million naira, while the eventual winners go back with 25 million naira star prize. For the family of Vedie Ekpenyong, a one-time staff of the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, Thursday, June 29 will ever remain gloomy as they bid eternal farewell to their late 36-year-old daughter, Joy Ekpenyong. The funeral, which took place at Mbagatai family compound of the Ekpeyons in Itu, attracted friends, sympathizers, media practitioners, relatives, as well as some of the AKBC family led by Dr. Anyeti Ukpe, the Director General. Esther Morin reports that the funeral was conducted by the Evening Church. Uyo.
The officiating minister, Pastor Rinsi Mike, urged Christians not to be ignorant about death so as to weep as hopeless persons, but to hold on to the belief that on the resurrection day, all those asleep in death will be raised to live again.
Let's make our journey here worthwhile. Let's make the breath that God has given to us, let's make it count. Let's sit down and have some time, moment of retrospect, look into ourselves, look into our lives. Why did the Father send me here?
In a biography, a cousin of the deceased, Miss Thelma Edi, described late Miss Joy Edi, who was fondly called a Kanyan, as a true reflection of motherhood, as she always exhibited the virtues of care, love, honesty, hard work, and compassion towards all around her.
Joy lived a life that reflected her parents' name, a Kanyan, our mother. Right from childhood, she exhibited the virtues of motherhood. She was caring, loving, honest, hardworking, organized, and compassionate.
Tributes and condolences were presented by various groups and individuals, including that from the Director General of Akwa Ibom State Broadcasting Corporation, Pastor Anyeti Ukpe, as presented by the Public Relations Manager, AKBC, Mrs. Mercy David, as well as the father, Mr. Edi Ekpenyo, and colleagues.
So thank you for our life. Once again, thank you for coming. Please, the heart you've shown me, let it remain. Not only Edi Ekpenyo, but God reward you for that, at least, and for coming out and for wishing me well. Phone calls, text messages, and all that. Thank you very much. This is your boy's elder brother. He's called operates in the music circles. He's an artist. He's appearing like this.
Your daughter was a beautiful soul who touched the lives of many, and her absence will be deeply felt by all who knew her. She brought joy, love, and laughter to those around her, and her memory will forever remain in our hearts.
She was kind, she was passionate, she was bubbly. I mean, even to the day of the surgery, there was this excitement in her voice. I just pray that her memory may it be a blessing, to us all. Thank you.
The remains of late Miss Joy Edi Ekpenyo were laid to rest in her family compound, Mbagatai Itam, Itu local government area. The burial was witnessed by Senator Effiong Bob, Mr. Anyekbenom Kpanam, Aparawa Michael Bush, and the Director General AKBC, Pastor Anyeti Ukpe. Esther Morin, AKBC News.
There's a sad one there. May God rest the soul of the departed and comfort the family. With that, we end our bulletin this morning, but before we go, another look at the top stories. The wife of the governor, Pastor Patience Umoino, has inaugurated a committee to see the organization of the Women Monthly Prayer at Government House. It has Bishop Enobo Essien of Gospel Foundation Mission as director. We also brought you a report that Pastor Patience enjoined well-placed individuals to assist government bring succor to the less privileged in the society. She was speaking when she unveiled the Mary Slessor Akanglo Foundation, set up by Dr. Gloria Day to cater to needs of mothers and multiple births, children, the elderly, and students. As the world focuses on public relations, AKBC Director General Dr. Anyeti Ukpe says government, organizations, groups, and individuals should utilize services of public relations practitioners for effective delivery. He was speaking on a special interview program on television. 6 teams have qualified from ACAT for the final of the Super 8 in Lagos. 25 million naira is the top prize. That's the news. Many thanks for watching and have a lovely weekend. Good morning.